Kicking off Masters 3 strong with ACEND versus SuperMassive Blaze, a rematch of the Challengers game, and we start it the same way here on Bind. SuperMassive Blaze with a very different composition this time around.
Yeah, the Desk don't get much time to talk. We don't either, because I imagine it's going to be a relatively quick pistol round, but the changes they've made, the first one I want to point out is Turco on Skye. I don't think he's ever played Skye before, so this is something that they were prepping, they were planning. They knew they were up against ACEND, they knew this is their best map. They have prepared very well for this matchup and come out with something completely different.
They're going to come in. They're coming in flooding the map with information. Russ and Turco playing those Skye and Sova comms can be dangerous. Already on the site here, ACEND are going to be grabbing the plans. This is a strategy we've seen plenty over in EMEA, at least. Coming out of bat, putting the wall down, and grabbing that post-plan position. Bone Cold trying to be sneaky up in the corner, but it looks like it's going to be a very delayed retake from SuperMassive Blaze. Bone Cold just jumped on top of the wall. He's a madman.
Yeah, losing that early player could be a little bit more of a problem. They need to almost give space. Oh, what's happened? He's got a little bit lost in the mix, and somehow this has come back into a 3v2 scenario. The time ticking. They're just defusing. It's left on Starzo, but he finds himself all three. What a start from ACEND. He just gave them a few warning shots beforehand, Mitch. Like, ACEND have demolished the best of the best when it comes to Bind, at least within their region. This is aggressive, though. They're almost just going to be feeding into killers in the early stages of this round. The B site completely open, and obviously Mitch are trying to make this one at least a little bit costly.
And look at the value of ult orbs over on ACEND. They love farming up these rounds. Every single player is going to be bringing value to the team. Most definitely can. Now I'm spotting out those Astra stars in towards mid, but they're not really slowing anything down for ACEND, quickly gaining control over Hookah. And as they come up through long, they lose a player. Sure, Izzy is low, but that's a trade that they're more than happy to make now. The numbers thinned out on site, but still able to keep the kills going their way. Turco, caught by the flash, is going to be taken down, and now it gets dangerous, Tom. They can actually retrieve these weapons on site and have a much better chance of closing it out with the spike plants pretty much uncontested.
It's weird. It looked like SMB almost got baited in a little bit by those extra rotations and pulled things back at least a little bit more with the fact that they went through the TP and managed to still have two players on site. The res, though, has changed things a little bit. The perfect scenario for CNED is he gets kills, he gets a res, and now they have themselves a man advantage.
Exactly. That post-plant res coming through puts ACEND way in the lead. The man advantage, the weapons retrieved. This was a bonus round, one that SuperMassive Blaze wanted to get away with in relatively flawless fashion, and yet they struggled to even save a weapon. Izzy running for the hills towards the A site. This is a guaranteed third for ACEND.
Yeah, big round. Again, Ultimate's playing a decent part, but it's funny. I think that the setup from SuperMassive Blaze was actually very good. Like, they had the three...
He can have that Blade Storm out in the next round. Let's see if he's going to get any value out of that.
It seems like they've also used Pora as a bit of a contingency plan, because one of the other things I wanted to bring up is the fact that I want to see the operator in hand for Izzy. It's a complete game changer. He's someone who can get far more aggressive when he has that weapon in hand. It does look like, though, they're going to use the remainder of the players who don't currently have the weaponry as a bit of a bait and switch. So they'll take the initial shot, they'll take the bullet for their teammate if anybody goes in that direction. However, well, they're not.
Yeah, they're looking to pressure over towards the A site for now. ACEND still leaving the door open, leaving themselves a couple of options in the early stages. A wall bang onto Pora, and that might even have been through a couple of Viper walls. That's not something you see all too often.
I'm still confused as to what he just did. Zeke's just going to go blast packing through and find himself another, and, well, unfortunately, the nice little bait and switch they had is instead going to turn out from a full retake from behind with one gun. Not looking good.
Yeah, they know full well that this is a flank play. You saw the markers go down. Bit of a risky fight for Killez. We got the Spectre to play with, and there's potentially a rifle to be picked up afterwards for him. They're going to let Bone Cold do the legwork, making his way up behind while the distraction is in. They're spraying away, and here's Bone Cold farming them up. And look how many credits are stacked up. Now, Izzy coming in with the operator dropped over. He's one away from Blade Storm as well. This could be a strong round for him, but there's no opponents to take down. Bone Cold is faking out Hookah, making some presence, but it's the A site that ACEND are looking keenly towards. They spotted that early flank that came through from SuperMassive Blaze in the previous round when they pushed down through Hookah. Now they're hoping that that B pressure is going to get the same reaction out of the A players so they can punish them. But because of how advanced Izzy is, how far pushed down he is, that's not going to happen. And so SuperMassive Blaze will just sit down, stay calm.
Yeah, it's surprising though that I think the flash has almost baited them into keeping 3 players on the B site, even though there is currently nobody there. The rotation will come in at least a little bit later, but Zeke is already making his move.
Yeah, they're going to make their way onto the side here. Zeke trying to backstab as they go for the plant. Position still being watched. Still being stared at. He can't really make a move just yet, but as he swings into Pora, that's the opening kill for them. Spike down, ACEND with full control. The only thing that can potentially help SuperMassive Blaze out, we got Izzy rotating in, operator in hand, and of course the Seekers to reveal a couple of these players.
And Brave the furthest forward. He's going to try and use a little bit of utility to try and hold them back, but the time has been ticking and they really haven't got much control whatsoever. The peek in is almost just debate as they also have Zeke alongside, and I wonder if they're just going to have to back out of this one. The clock too far gone, a solid flash at least to catch off another, but Zeke is just going ham. Izzy has to try and run away to save the operator, and he should at least get one. No! Zeke actually hits that? But it's more the mana. Like a single opening kill, an after plant, and then it really didn't look like that round was going to slip away at any point.
We had a deep flash put down towards the start of this round. Be long, getting them information, garnering them something to work with. Blade Storms being spotted. I'm surprised that they're still moving in. Izzy takes his moment to strike, and Zeke will be dropped. Looking to support his teammates on long. They may well have stopped ACEND from going for any sort of B aggression at this point. And there's a rifle there to be retrieved inside of Hookah, but actually I better hold on to that thought because ACEND are still moving up through A, and Izzy is still picking them off.
Baited out the res. It's going to be the peek in though. More than prepared, and he misses the knives. It slipped away. It was looking so good. He's just warded the 2 players. Somehow, this round keeps swinging back and forth, and they've got an aggressive position of Pora. He's so good with this Sheriff. Never missed that initial shot, and might just be able to get around the corner. He's not even going to be spammed either, so he gets to escape.
Yeah, they're trying to hunt him down, got up in front of that Sage wall, just guaranteeing now that their back is clear, but they have to work on getting this Viper out of position. They don't know exactly where he is, and in fact, he's willing to commit the ultimate and let it just die down, holding the positions to stop them from planting. And with 20 seconds left, they need to make a move. Killez now low, 1 hit from this Sheriff, and Pora's going to be able to take the first, possibly even the second. 13 seconds as the final shot.
Worth it in that scenario to stay alive.
It's the percentage play, and it's so smart. That's one of the things you definitely won't see in your ranked, right? You try to take the fight to 50-50. Here comes a Poison Orb blocking out towards Lambs. ACEND really want to put some pressure towards SuperMassive Blaze's A defense, and you can see the utility that's being put out on the other side. You've got Astra Stars used up, a drone making its way in towards Bath. They are very worried about this crunch in towards A, but ACEND are slowing it down yet again, conscious that there could be a flank underway. And look at where CNET is. The man is in their spawn watching for flanks. The timing not quite working out for him. Izzy is comfortable enough in not over-aggressing, but the control that he's garnered allows for the rotate. The 4-man stack on this A side as they push through, and Zeke is up with the showstopper to take down the first. The trades come in thick and fast, and that will be an easy A site, at least you would imagine.
Yeah, Turco, I don't know how he gets anything done from this scenario. He needs to catch someone on the fadeaway, and well, that's exactly what he does. This actually starts the rotation, but I think they're expecting Izzy to be coming in from behind. Multiple players already retaking that control. If he can kill off Viper, maybe he can at least remove that utility and hits the pixel shot to turn it into a 2v2.
Absolutely massive. Post plant no longer to be played with, but unfortunately Turco falls. He really needed a pick in that situation. Now, all that's left to do is to save yet again for Izzy. That operator too valuable to throw away on a 1v2 with such limited time. And we will see another round for ACEND. They have bounced right back. In fact, it looks like they're even trying to hunt him down, but not going the right way.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a change on this A site. Like that is now
Hyper wall that they had alongside that, as well as the smoke in heaven, means Izzy couldn't really get the aggressive picks he might have wanted. This time around, that's not the case. He tries to take the boom bottom, legs up Bone Cold. Good damage done, but SuperMassive Blaze now have to make it work in a 4v4. Their star player of Izzy, their big fragger, no longer with them.
Yeah, and he, well, you've got a couple of players with a few weaker weapons into this round. Now, in the last ACEND basically committed a lot of their valuable ultimates. So we're still in a spot where realistically a Hunter's Fury could be put into play just to get this one over the line for SuperMassive Blaze. The problem though, and again, this is what ACEND have actually done so well, they've just slowed down. they've not been over-aggressive. They've not tried to play off a lot of those opening picks that they've been finding. They're just ready for their opponents to try and get a little bit more aggressive and try and catch them with their pants down.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. You saw that flash play picking up the poison orb, but okay, they have the wall. The wall is going up to allow them to back out. Stars are going to tank a little bit of this snake bite as he makes his way in towards long. We're going to get a full execute out of this. Smoke's coming down. Orb taking good molly. Good slow. Pora's in trouble. He tries to get out of the corner, but there's nowhere to run. Seekers confirm they're all here. Good flash, but the follow-up from Bone Cold. He keeps on connecting on 2 HP. The man has survived, and the 2v2 commences. ACEND still looking to get that plant in play.
I'm surprised more didn't come from the Hunter's Fury. Like, they did a little bit of damage, but the fact is one of the players was actually stuck. Brave, though, has come through, and it's onto this man once again. ACEND to try and clutch it up, but it'll be Russ to take it away. A big round from SuperMassive Blaze. Again, an investment of multiple ultimates, but at least they've got a second round on the board.
Well, that's it. They're grinding these rounds out. It's feeling very reminiscent of the previous game. Just a consistent...
ultimates, like Bone Cold has now got another orbital strike to try and give them an opening. On this map especially, well, you can clear out so many angles. Izzy's just trapped. He either has to die or back away, and well, he's going to choose the latter, surprisingly.
Oh, that was through the smoke. Zeke up on top, takes down Turco. Russ is trying to recover, but he can only get the first. This is looking very shaky for SuperMassive Blaze, and another response from ACEND. The res comes in, a 5v3 that they have to fight their way back into. Seekers revealing their positions, all the information to play with, all the manpower for ACEND, and even the weaponry sitting in their favor with Brave sat down. And the Spectre, nice kill by Izzy.
If that could make the difference. This was looking almost like, well, a definite set. Like, going for this just seemed impossible, but the fact that they've caught out the flank, it gives them a little bit more space to try and make it to the side. Pora, okay. He's going to pick off one already, but they haven't cleared Zeke from the angle. The paint shell will hold them back a little bit longer. Pora hitting every shot he can, but they just don't have the time. And it just seems like whenever there's an opportunity for SuperMassive Blaze to finally get themselves a couple of rounds in a row, ultimates are there for ACEND to just win it for them.
Now, I'm really curious. They need to do that earlier.
Yeah, and they need to do it when it's not going to obliterate their own economy as well. When they're in a spot now where one of their players has a pistol, another still has the SMG from the previous round, and on the other side, full buy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely not the ideal scenario. I'm surprised we still don't see Viper's Pit committed. They're actually looking to fight Hookah instead, and we've seen this again and again from Pora and Turco. So far, though, whenever they've gone for it, there's been no one around. And it's the same thing this time. ACEND avoiding all those early flashes, avoiding the early utility, and just playing such a slow game.
Okay, you finally get it put down.
There we
It's
go.
going to be onto the B site. Now, I will say that in a lot of the rounds, I think we've seen the vulnerabilities when it comes to A. A lot of the closer rounds have ended up on this B site. Izzy not going to be able to connect. I would have expected him to hit that. There's been a few of those this game where it's like, I expect him to get those kills.
Yeah, good position to counter the A execute we'd seen before, and the wall was down, but it is in fact a B play. Oh, the fire is down on the site. The wall bang is good. Pora fighting from inside his Viper's Pit. He wants to stop them from getting onto the site. He's good for 2, but that's all he can do. The shutdown of ACEND makes this a little bit more doable, though, with Zeke and Killes trying to get it done.
Yeah, they've locked down the spawn, and especially when it's Izzy trying to come through it. Like, you telling me he's going to run through the Viper's Pit with an AWP? Like, that's a horrible spot to be in. I feel like Russ has to do everything, and he's going to just take so much damage. He runs into the snakebite. Now, sure, he doesn't actually have 1 HP, but he almost has to try and find the player within this ultimate. And Russ, as said, he needs to do a lot, and that is the ult down.
That's going to be Zeke, stuck in the corner. The reveal won't quite catch him, but the fight, it gives away his position. He has to run down the clock. The operator swinging in to take him down. Zeke is trying to avoid it, jumping up and down, and it actually works. Although the shot comes in from Izzy, the time is far too low. ACEND are up to 8.
He's an absolute rat. That man has made ACEND look so much better than they ever did.
We're going to get a showstopper right off the rip. They're just looking to go in for some aggressive duels up against pistols and a single operator. And the shot's not going to land. Zeke falls. Showstopper finds nothing. And now ACEND quickly turn tail towards the B site. They realize they'd seen a couple players too many. And so the B site will be the weakness. But it looks like SuperMassive Blaze might get there first.
Yeah, if they can delay them even a little bit, it could make things so much more difficult. And I think, again, ACEND are going to realize, okay, this all in play is just not going to be worth it. They already had the idea that someone's rotating. I would say they've over-rotated, though.
Lurk.
Like, Bone Cold is just going to walk into A, and there is no one here. They have all left. They've taken a big risk on the gamble rotation, and it's not gone great.
It's the pack mentality, right? When you've got these weapons, these pistols around an operator, you want to just move together as a unit. And ACEND have read that perfectly. Bone Cold, the lurking IGL, starts to feel it out and see, hey, you know what? These guys, they fully rotated. They've left the site. Let's try. This is our best chance to get the round. But they still have a lot to play against. You have an operator. You have a Vandal on the other side. And SuperMassive Blaze even go in and pop that Blade Storm. Yep. Is he giving the op to Turco? But he can't get out. No. And he gets caught up. A wall, a gap in the wall that they could never have seen coming. Poor is left alone. That was a chance, an opportunity. But they would then go, oh, okay, I kind of messed this up. But what can we do with it? How can we make this work to our advantage? And ACEND are one of the best teams in the world at making that happen. This time, the aggression in through Hookah is finally going to come through, and Izzy's able to claim the first before going down. Turco with a huge whiff, and that could cost them massively. Hunter's Fury connecting quite a few pulses, but they've lost the sight. And again, it's going to have to be a retake with a man disadvantage.
I'm not too much of a believer in these at this stage. The Cosmic Divide has been in for an incredibly long time, but will it... Okay. Starzo's just got walking across. He's been caught. It gave them something, but the rest of the players are a little bit far behind. Brave almost going in solo, and it still puts them with a disadvantage on this retake. Poor, he's been one of the shining lights for this squad so far. A second kill to give them a chance, but it's the 1 versus 1. It needs to be Rust, normally so good in these clutches, but not this time. It's Zeke.
Far.
Maybe it's pretty good on the attack, you know. This is given the benefit of the doubt. Got to be a little bit hopeful in these sort of scenarios. A lot of aggression again. This is something that we're going to see an awful lot when it comes to this side of Bayern. Zeke looking almost to battle initially, but is held back. And of course, they've got their own screen, which just gives them the ability to not only flash through, but go for these cheeky peeks and then fall back again.
The pistol round is always paced pretty quickly from what we've seen so far. SuperMassive Blaze, though, slowed down by some early peaks by utility, like that nade coming down on long, but they will still ultimately look to finish on the B side. There is a 3-man stack here, and a nasty close position by Starzo. He's going to flash out and confirm there's still some players there. And he's playing contact on his teammate. Oh, never mind. He's getting pushed on. Pora's already in. He's taken down 2. The third on backside goes his way as well. This was a pistol round that SuperMassive Blaze desperately needed if they're to have any shot of taking this map and making the massive comeback. And now they're in a 4v2 that they surely can't lose.
Clear Turco out. I don't think it's going to matter too much, though. Only 1 man standing, and CNED will fall. An
official game.
I hope that's right.
Tom said it, so come after
it. It must be.
When it comes to ACEND right now, they've got 10 rounds. They're not going to be too worried. This should be an easy farm up for the SuperMassive Blaze side. It's all just classics, a few sheriffs here and there. Zeke good to take down 1, but he'll be traded out nicely right afterwards. And well, SuperMassive Blaze don't really want to lose any more bodies in this.
Yeah, they definitely don't want to have too much cost when it comes to their bonus round, especially when you consider that there really isn't much invested into this at all. Still fairly tentative from SuperMassive Blaze. They've won the early duels. They don't really need to take too many risks, and I think the only way that they, well, make some serious mistakes is just by not checking their corners, which, you know what, after killing that many players, I don't know if they'll necessarily expect killers to be here. That flash, however, gives the game away.
I like the little Starzo getting a taste of his own medicine, really, right? We saw in round 3 the same thing happened to him that he inflicted on SuperMassive Blaze when he flashed out, and they managed to make it work with the weaker weapons, and now he's really starting to feel like, are really starting to get a taste of what it's like to play against these Sky players when they're flashing through your smokes. You're never safe. I don't know if you'll ever get to see that head-to-head. At the mercy of the tournament format for that one. Now we're at 10-4. SuperMassive Blaze winning the pistol, winning the second, but now look at how seriously they're taking this round. They've got their 2 Vandals to play with. ACEND win the early duel with Bora going down. But pressure being applied through middle. The spray for Zeke doesn't actually land, but the trade is quickly found. ACEND maintaining their man advantage. Killez is going to give up a lot of control, and as that wolf goes in, the Tiger is returned on the other side. Brave desperately wants to get this done up close. The Spectre in play, but now he's forced into a ranged fight. Tickled up as Killez takes him down. A 4 versus 2 in fact emerges. CNED on 8 HP yet again. The man is not having a good time when it comes to being tagged up, but it looks like they are making quick work of this low buy round.
Not overfacing, a few low players as well on the other side. I think even an extra kill here for Supermassive Blaze would be good. If they win it, well, okay. Not sure that flash went exactly to plan. Just popped in his teammate's face.
They come, here they come.
Died. Are they all going to go
They're
through together?
rallying through. This is going to be a team TP. You're dropping pistols in just to let them know we're on our way, buddy. There's a couple of us who want to say hi to you, and a flash comes in first. Still, though, they haven't followed through. They're waiting. A second flash perhaps being primed in a number of saves. He's giving him a vandal. He's giving him a vandal. He's throwing. They're giving him 2. Hey, buddy, take our weapons. We've got nothing left. We'll come and knife you. What is this?
They 100% don't know that he has an SMG. There is no way they know he has an SMG because they've just given him a rifle upgrade. Are they just going to leave him?
What?
So he's just going to get an upgrade?
4 right now. ACEND bounce right back, but Supermassive Blaze did keep their economy relatively in check. One player can't buy, but it's Izzy. And of course, you already heard. He doesn't want any people in his way. He called it out right at the start. Bladestorm's online.
They're ready, though. An early lockdown of the hookah position leaves this as a bit of an awkward attack spot. Now, they've taken a lot of control in towards long, but again, we're going to see this early 3-man stack into the B site. The remaining players just waiting patiently, still having the screen as an opportunity to back off. And CNED, well, he's going hunting. He's facing into Brave, the only player you'll ever see with a Phantom on their side, but he gets the close range battle.
Yeah, you can see he was expecting them to be slightly further down, aiming at the torso as they came around. It's going to be a bit of an awkward position for Starzo. The flash lands, but none of the bullets do. And ACEND, you might not think it, but they're on a full buy here. Supermassive Blaze just completely running over them and finding that B site with ease. 2 players left, Zeke and Killez, and they will be looking to save, maybe find some exits along the way.
Yeah, I'm still looking at the HP as well. They are being healed up, but there was about 4 players around 20 to 50 HP. So it was a little bit closer for ACEND, but yeah, big fight back for Supermassive Blaze, winning those openers, expecting the aggression of their opponents. And I don't think the credits are going to be in the greatest of spots for ACEND in the next round. So we are going to witness them try and save some of that extra weaponry. One of them being a judge, though, so, well, I guess if he's going to play hookah in the next round, it's not too much of a problem.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Zeke is going to be more than comfortable working with that. He might even try to make a quick play to the B side after the spike shrinks back up, but I don't think he's going to get close enough to gain anything.
At least have a chance to fight this one back. Of course, there's always going to be a play being made. The res, it's going to be online, but he might need to bring himself back. Never mind. CNED, while dodging every single bullet, has found one through the smoke. Bear in mind, he's using a Vandal, so they know where he is.
Oh, and he's got a second as well. He lit Brave down to 40 health, stripping him of his armor, and CNED still looking to go forward. 15 health off him, no armor to play with, no shields whatsoever, but he does not give a damn. Now here comes the Viper Orb. It's going to be blocking off any sort of impact from Bone Cold. Starzo spraying it. Oh, Bone Cold, he's walking into it, and that gives him away. Pora's going to just hunt him down right afterwards, tickles him up, but somehow doesn't take him down, and Bone Cold wins that fight. Low on HP, healed right back up. Supermassive Blaze are finding it hard to get any ground. Eventually, CNED will fall, but there is so much left to do.
I've been gobsmacked by pretty much every single kill ACEND has got in this round. 2 of them, 1 player spraying against 4 through smoke, and then the other is just a battle that I would have bet a lot on Pora winning that one. Instead, they're going to try to go for the rotation, and although there's currently nobody in the area other than Zeke, who's a little bit further behind, it's still going to be a real issue for them. The rotation already coming in. I think the teleport actually ended up as a bit more of a burden than anything else, but they might not expect 2 players, and I don't think it's going to matter. Zeke will close it out using the shotgun to his advantage.
There are a couple of weaknesses there for ACEND when it comes to ACEND. And I think in particular, looking at their games versus Illuminar, G2, these are teams that, playstyle-wise, I can definitely see SuperMassive Blaze replicating.
Yeah, I think as well that SuperMassive Blaze are going to be fine going into that map. I would say it's their best map, so realistically they're going to be incredibly confident. Bone Cold, they're just fighting on the edge of these smokes, fighting around the smokes, and there's going to be a peek hit. He's just hitting every single shot. Ultimate online, he can now deny them any extra space if they try to go for this quicker push. And that's exactly what he's going to do. They've been forced out of position. The spam will get 2 from Starzo. This map is done. Russ needs to clutch out a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, nice orbital strike, pushes them out of position, they spam them up. Nothing you can do about that one. Russ wants to be sure he can reload, pops the recon into the smoke, but here's the flash, no peek after. Starzo's gonna wait and walk on through the smoke. Getting himself around the edge. Oh, Russ was ready for it, but it didn't matter. 13-5.
It's because they needed to if they were gonna stand a chance.
Well, here we go, Tom. We're kicking off the pistol. SuperMassive Blaze picking up the pace on that mid push. They really want to get in there. ACEND already going to use up that dash to get out of there. Bone Cold probably wants to do the same pretty soon. In fact, that's why the star goes down. He'll just pull it right on back. Doesn't want to waste it, of course.
Yeah, they've managed to clear out some of the early control, but the fact is ACEND are safe from a split onto the A site because of the early wall. So it almost has to just be a little bit of a slowdown from SuperMassive Blaze, trying to bait out some of those early positions. You can see the turret uses a bait and switch, and it's that right click to just take Pora's head clean off.
A nice shot to open things up. He's going to go back and re-aggress yet again, but so many players pursuing him. He needs help and doesn't have it. Cleanly shut down. Now it's time to look towards the site where ACEND is quickly connecting one to Turco, making this a little bit more difficult. He's a little bit cautious of getting spammed down. Star Zone, not quite feeling the same caution.
Do they expect? They don't expect it. They don't expect. They don't check. That could have been everything, but actually Zeke's only going to get 1. It does give time, though. And that's the main thing that's needed at the moment for ACEND. Already going to put down another grab well. The peak coming back in, and it's just not going well for Brave.
They are most likely going to lose this one as well, as they come in with some very weak pistols. And I love it, Zeke. Let's get more of that.
It's not quite the Odin, but I think we know it's coming. If he's doing that already with an Ares, it's not something that you will commonly not do with some of the other weaponry.
Well, that wasn't a fun fight, and they've lost the second player. This is already getting into pretty dangerous territory for ACEND. Not just in terms of losing the round, but economy as well. You really don't want to be losing this many players. They're looking over towards the A side here. SuperMassive Blaze creeping in towards Heaven. They have only got the 2 players to work with. The weapons are very weak, but one more kill here, Tom, and that will be a huge blow to ACEND.
Oh, I think they might have overplayed it a little bit, trying to find themselves a duel, but the fact is crossing past this angle is going to be nigh on impossible, and they're trying to basically just find where on earth these remaining ACEND players are actually going to be. The fact is, though, with Russ able to get himself the sniper, have that Marshall, he wanted to try and bang the longer range duel. Instead, though, it's going to be the Ares to close out. It's
the over. Problem is, as I said, ACEND investing up, he's not going to be able to he's not going to be able to get his Blade Storm by next round.
Yeah, either if he gets his Blade Storm, then he's won them the round. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah,
like, he would have to get enough kills, or maybe get 4 and die. That would be fine as well, but the chances are you're just going to be taking it over the line if that's the case. So it's unlikely to be happening, but we'll see how costly he can make this one and maybe give them an opportunity to try and grab an ultimate orb in the next round.
Couldn't quite get over the wall there with the drone. If it had him, that could have been nice, spotting out a second player in mid. Instead, they slow it down a little bit, but they don't get a whole lot in terms of reward for that drone committed. For the 400 credits that it costs, it is a pretty chunky bit of utility to be investing into. Pora dropping down the turret. It's broken from further away, allowing Bone Cold to catch them by surprise, but even while being pulled, Pora is able to take down one. Now, dealing with the turret just in time as well with 29 HP left. That could have gotten scary. These fights are never going to be ideal for ACEND with the weaker weapons.
Oh. I don't know if they'll expect Russ to feel. It's a little bit of a whiff, and Killers actually finds another one off his utility on the site. This now becomes a really dangerous scenario for SuperMassive Blaze. They're going to use the paranoia just to hold the remaining players back. Give them an opportunity to get a plant and stick it down, but the problem is they're re-aggressing already. The push coming through. Killers gets his 3rd kill of the round. It's left all onto 1, and ACEND will close it. The actual kill, it weakened enough that the turret almost kills off Pora, and then the extra utility is there to close him out as well. The problem now, though, is that Pora's on a pistol, and this man is incredibly good with this gun. ACEND, he takes 2 to at least keep it even, but there's now some guns to be had.
That's the problem. The fact that you have a decision to make now, and they've made it. They're closing the door. They're saying, hey, you guys go take that gun. We don't care. We're going to look elsewhere to find those openings, and it's Starzo who's pushed all the way up behind the middle players. That means the spike is now trapped.
No
I
way.
mean, getting out of here is impossible for Turco without taking a fight. He's already spotted up Starzo and taken him down. Okay, this now gets scary. ACEND have a man disadvantage. Zeke, as much as I love the Odin, it's not really what you want if you're retaking a side a lot of the time. SuperMassive Blaze have all the control and a lot of the weaponry.
It's a weird scenario. The fact that Turco spins that and manages to find the kill. The problem being, though, is they've got to try and gamble out the space. Now, they know that there's a turret close, so if that ever turns off even for a second, they'll run towards the A side because they know that killers will have left. Instead, though, he now peeks in and spots, okay, there's somebody at least around the A area, so they're getting information off those turrets, and they may not necessarily expect Zeke to be this committed into B.
But they've definitely heard the drone over there on the B side, so Zeke will maintain his position. The problem is when that recon comes through, it kind of gives it away. There's someone on the site, 12 seconds left. They need the plant and they need it now. They're coming right into the Odin. They might not even know it's in play just yet. He's got basically a full mag to play with plenty of bullets to take them down, and they run into the spray. Absolutely no way. That is a round 1 for ACEND, 4-0.
Never really come out. Maybe just a little bit too hesitant.
I love that we've got Bane in the replay.
Slow-mo.
Spark is down. Well, we're looking in towards this A site. SuperMassive Blaze are as well. They're full committing to it. A late lurk by Pora coming in through middle as they claim the site and now look for the plant, but in comes ACEND. Gonna make it at least a little bit costly. There's absolutely no way that this player steps up above. He's challenged ACEND, and he's received exactly what you'd expect. Another ACEND just keeps on going. 3 kills with the off, a tag into another, and this is getting scary with just 1 down below, trapped in. Russ needs to make something happen while Pora is making the short play, lurking out, trying to find space, but ACEND picks up 4, a classic to close out the round, and a 5th on the board for the defenders. We talked about this map as
He's going to win them every single time. I think that's just a complete overface.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. The jump up, I didn't believe it was going to come through from Brave, but I guess he thought the birthday look was with him. Nice shot, ACEND. Again, punishing, getting the trades back. He's on for a second, and now he's aggressing in. He's being revealed, though, up in the corner. The updraft, not quite getting him out of there as safely as he would have hoped. The heal just about saves him, popping him back up onto basically full HP. Good tag. Oh, it's the kill as well. Zeke doing damage, covering ACEND's retreat. Shock darts are coming in. The Odin is here to play, and SuperMassive Blaze yet again are looking down in the dumps.
Wherever they go, they see his face. he's almost waiting for them.
ACEND A, go B. ACEND B, go A.
Yeah, it's like, where do you go to escape this man? It just seems like it's not possible. And even if they do manage to take him out, there's been other players for ACEND so far in this map.
They think he's still in the corner. They shock darted it. They're going back to check their flank. And what are they going to find? They're going to find ACEND. But in fact, they do find him. They take him down. This is a pretty good position to play from. Zeke jump spotting. I mean, he could even be taken down if the timing is right. 1 versus 1 on the site. Good damage. Turco delivers a 3rd kill of the round, though. He's not going to have the res online, but it is a 1v1, the best chance for SuperMassive Blaze so far.
Yeah, by the looks of it as well, Bone Cold is out of stars. So for utility, he's not really going to have anything. It just comes down to the straight-up gunfight, which, well, you'd probably bank on Turco most as the best team within the region. Gambit giving them a bit of a run for their money, but ACEND have been so damn good.
Let's see what you got, Zeke. Let's see those spams coming through. Shock dart on the way, just in case someone had snuck on through. But this is going to be a slow round from SuperMassive Blaze. Now we get to see that operator battle between Izzy and ACEND. The impact from ACEND has been unquestionable. Yep. But now Izzy wants to show that he's the best Turkish operator, wants to make a name for himself.
Well, yeah, they are 2 players within EMEA battling for that, right? The problem is, thus far, Izzy hasn't really shown up. He was a little bit quiet in the first map. We know that that's something of a rarity. We've got a little bit of a battle coming between the 2 of them. Oh, a good nano swarm. I think the heal might have actually kept him alive just long enough.
Great play by Pora. Yeah, from the start to the finish there. He even manages to finish off Bone Cold, not the player he was initially attempting to challenge. This is a fantastic opening. They're going to use that Killjoy lockdown to try and get in towards the site, but they're being pushed on. Oh no, still winning the duels as they go, but Killez up on behind, able to come out of there with 2. The lockdown will still come into effect, but it gives them a man disadvantage as they come back in. Starzo even has a res to play with. Now, there's no one really readily available to pop a res on. He's already used his wall, so up in heaven, he can't get that player back online. The res is out of the round. This is where Supermassive Blaze need to turn up.
Your duty is not
He's actually res them.
Oh, actually both players all within a second. Pora, he's going to find himself a 4th. And it's left on to Izzy. As said, it's been a little bit rough for him so far, but this time he will land the shot.
Swings, takes the fight, and had his Nano Swarm already thrown in to stop that dash out. And a factor of 6 HP, Tom. That's, if CNET aimed 1 degree to the left when he dashed, he was dead.
Well, yeah. Then they cleared him out anyway when they went for the repeak, so they've done well over the last couple, and now actually, financially, we see ACEND in the bin, but that might not matter too much. It's not necessarily an Odin or an Ares this time, but the pistol has kicked things off for Zeke. There's still the opportunity to throw in the Blade Storm as well, but both players go down within an instant. Quick couple of trades back, SMB back in the driver's seat.
This is where, okay, now they've spotted 2 players, they're still here. You know that they're stacked up, but it doesn't look like they're all too concerned, wanting to just punish them and take them down here and now. A late flank coming in from Killez. It's being watched, or it was being watched by Pora. The S indeed, it still is. Conscious of that play, watching for the spawn as well. I mean, this is perfect. Supermassive Blaze not giving any opportunities really for a big hero play to come through over on ACEND. For the pistol to do major damage. There's the burst, but that's all.
They're a team that have beaten the likes of Gambit 13-1. They can definitely streak rounds together on this map.
You should run.
Oh, most definitely. Now here's where they're going to try to get something done. This is the one round where you see Zeke playing very, very passive. He actually could have spammed that ult down from it being placed up on top of the box, but obviously he's conscious that they could put it behind it, and then that's not going to happen. So, they're going to have a big retake play from ACEND, but they also have a lockdown to play with, Tom.
And one of their own. It still seems like maybe a little bit of confusion as the position's currently being taken. The wall boost for Turco might not necessarily be expected, but the afterplant's looking stellar. Again, you've got Pora waiting on the lurk. CNET already going to be dropped, and now we see the Cosmic Divide thrown in to try and separate these players. But if anything, they've just given a safe spot to Turco to just sit behind them. It is not going well at all for ACEND in this round, and the afterplant looking incredible.
Yeah, Starzo's trapped, not a chance of getting out of there. Looking pretty hot.
Since then, they haven't exactly been rocked, you could say, by what we've heard from the other side during that tactical pause. So maybe they'll get one of their own soon and take it a little bit more seriously. But for now, again, we're back to the pistols. Ultimate's in play, unlikely to have too much of an effect. Okay, Zeke actually just pops his Hunter's Fury straight away, looking to try and find them something into this round. Gets absolutely nothing for it. I'm very surprised by that usage, but hey, they've got an opener anyway.
Destroying that alarm bot there gave him away. They knew exactly where Turco was, tucked up in the corner. Great opening, but CNET's going to be punished. The return back, all they need to do is keep the range. And with the operator in hand, Izzy is easily able to dispatch these players on ACEND. Bone Cold and Zeke, Sheriff's in hand, hoping for a couple of headshots, but none to be landed just yet. This is going to be a tough fight in the corner. Surely they check it. The recon going to reveal. Oh, okay. Well, look.
For Supermassive Blaze, so 5-round streaks on either side. I wonder if we're finally going to get a combo breaker.
Well, let's see. If ACEND have got it in them to take this one across the line. The operator of CNET on the other side of the map. Supermassive Blaze have managed to dodge it, but look at all that Killjoy utility. There's stars everywhere. There's nano swarms, there's alarm bots, there's absolutely everything they could hope for, and those stars actually give the cover to avoid being spotted. Oh, 2 players were spotted! They know! Underneath! And they're going to try to spam them into the open, not looking for the kill. They're trying to open space for Izzy to get frags with the off. The Hunter's Fury wasn't supposed to kill, just to reposition, but both shots miss. Izzy then pops the ultimate, moves towards the site, but he's pushed back right into the hands of Starzo, waiting for him. The kills are going their way, though. Supermassive Blaze here to fight and here to win with 50 seconds on the clock. They still need to deal with Starzo, and he is bringing this back into the realm of possibility for ACEND. The timing so poor, and he just about gets taken down.
Turco as well is already watching this flank. It was everything for Zeke to get that kill, but they had him sandwiched in. And now the only one remaining is ACEND to try and face off. Well, I was going to say versus 4, but it's now down to 3, and Turco will put him in his place.
Wow. Considering the form that he was on towards the end of Bind, that is a disappointing statistic to hear. And credit to SuperMassive Blaze for just shutting him down so consistently. That tag comes in, but it could have been a little bit awkward if it was a second earlier. Izzy on that operator's definitely been struggling in a couple of these rounds. Now up against the pistols yet again. Like, this is a forced buy from ACEND, obviously because it's the last round of the half, but they still couldn't get anything much out. In fact, not a single rifle to fight for 6-6.
Well, let's see if Bone Cold can change things a little bit. He's watching for the wall boost up, but never mind. His head's been taken off anyway. Again, they have a couple of players around to try and just lock it down, but Starzo would have to go absolutely ham. He does have his res available to him to bring a teammate back, but if anything, he goes for that now. Teammate dead again. Yeah,
I mean, he'd be dead before he even got to the body. That's the thing. And I think he's just been spotted. Yes, he has. There's the tag on the wall. You see, they're saying he's close right, and Brave is going to take him down. In comes the Ares, but not good for those kind of fights. This is looking like a guaranteed 7 for SuperMassive Blaze. A hero is needed, and it's not ACEND this time around. It falls to Killez. He's been huge before, and they know he's going for the lockdown. They're going to push him down right away. Killez deals with them. Lockdown popped. Now he just needs to hold on to this position. There's no one coming in through heaven.
They've got one, too.
But they've popped their own. They're going to be happy to keep him locked in position. In fact, he's going to push right afterwards. He's still looking for kills. He's taking down the first, swapping over the weapon, going to go and destroy it, and he gets it done as well. The other player's backed off. This could actually be huge. One player even got detained. Down goes the turret. He taps the defuse. It's all a ruse, trying to bait them into the open, and eventually he does. maybe. Double up on the kills. Let's see what they can do. SuperMassive Blaze getting aggressive, but CNET's here to play. The dash didn't quite go according to plan, but the kills certainly did. They don't expect another! And Russ is able to take down 2. That makes it doable. Bone Cold on 20 HP. But a big clutch from Turco. This guy has been insane so far, Tom. This might be too much to ask, though.
Yeah, especially with it. The thing is, this is a position that Turco also used in the last half. So if he gets fooled by his own tactic, I might be a little bit disappointed. The fact is that I don't know if it's actually going to be Starzo that does anything here, because there are players holding the crossbow. Cole going to be watching and will spot out his position. No, he's not coming in from behind. And now it just leaves this disgusting crossfire, even going to pull in a star and a turret to try and leave him out. And although he does check, he was aware. Not normal that the case of your opponents winning 7 rounds in a row.
True.
So
very true.
You know what? It's a little bit of a different scenario. It's actually crazy that Russ, I think he actually headshot someone through someone else and almost gets himself an extra kill in that round. So he did his best, but realistically, this round, Mitch, not expecting much.
No, not really. They know that there's a player towards the back of the site. Russ is going to be dealt with immediately. That drone had spotted him out. The dash is ambitious at best from Izzy. And this is going as expected. We're looking good for a Prime Gaming flawless. And let's see if that comes through. Indeed it.
But he's done very well in a lot of rounds to almost just either make it incredibly costly, or in this case, get himself ever closer to that ultimate, which, as we saw in the last half for Pora, was incredibly impactful.
The one big disappointment for me from SuperMassive Blaze has been Russ. He swapped skins. He's no longer using the Elder Flame like the rest of the team. So, you know, really, team synergy suffers there. But jokes aside, we're looking at a pretty aggressive push out of ACEND. Into a smoke they went, and, well, they didn't get anything done for it. Brave quickly shutting them down before he falls himself. But I was going with the Brim. And now, well, the change-up, it's definitely had impact. You definitely see the Astra Stars coming in some critical moments, but I don't know if it's worth the trade-off.
Yeah, I feel like as well, a lot of the sort of top Astras that we see within the world at the moment are ones that are able to play incredibly well around their own utility and find a lot of impact and frags from it. So the fact that, yeah, Joyce is meant to be more of that supportive agent, I don't even feel like it flies when you're playing Astra so much.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now look at this. Opening kill has come through with Pora falling. Pora, another player, has been so pivotal. I've seen it. Wasn't sure if there was a little gap there. Now, going to be looking for some picks, operator in hand, but Brave is falling down on shore. With him out, the side is completely theirs. ACEND will be able to get a nice and easy plant and hold on to a 5 versus 3. And yeah, I'm with you, Tom. This looks like a textbook save from SuperMassive Blaze. Looking at this scenario, they are starting to hit that W key a little bit.
Yeah, they legitimately have nothing to get them back into the round. Drone already utilized. Sure, they could try and scan a player or two and maybe find them through the wall, but other than that, you're just going to be throwing weaponry into the wind. And on the other side of things, like, yeah, sure, a fair bit of the utility's already been deployed as well, but I don't think you're going to break this after plant. And for Supermassive Blaze, you just want to keep the economy strong. Make sure you can come back into the next round. Maybe get an operator for Izzy. He's someone on this map in particular is incredibly good at taking map control away from opponents on the defense. So I want to see that come into play at some point.
I like that. Yeah, it's, oh, there we go. It's earlier that they just, every time someone was asked, like, yo, you guys, you got a rivalry like G2 Sentinels, what does it feel like? And they're like, I don't know, man, I think it's just social media. We got a lot of love for each other. Oh. What?
Okay, there you go. Burncold's back on the board. He's found himself a kill straight through the wall. Now, do they expect the re-aggression of Russ? In fact, they're almost going to try and completely ignore it, and Burncold finds another one. It's all fallen apart. This B-main aggression, something they attempted in the pistol, and it failed then as well, Mitch. They now have Brave to try and hold on to this site, and well, with the utility that's currently available, he can't even afford to like shoulder peek this, because he'll get sucked in.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for Brave. I mean, a 1v5 versus ACEND, not something you're likely to see come through, and so it looks like we're seeing yet another save, at least be postured for. He'll take a few exits if he can get them, but for the most part, it's going to be a fairly drawn-out round with not a lot happening. The door is even closed, so he can't even catch an angle. And so playing for the exits is the right call. The problem is getting into position for an exit. If he was to actually try and get behind B main, CNED is staring at that with an operator, and they even have spawn flank covered by Starzo. There's literally nowhere that he can surprise them from.
Yeah, and his teammate already died from that operator facing into mid, so like, if he was to push that, he'd have to be a little bit of a maniac, and I don't think, out of all the players on this team, I almost feel like Brave is like the calm within the storm, which is quite interesting considering he is the youngest as well. Yeah. Like the player who literally turned 18 today, I believe. I think that was said on the desk earlier. So happy birthday, Brave. I hope that your gift is you get to keep your gun this round.
Well, let's see if it is. Let's see if ACEND are feeling generous. Maybe that's what was happening on the previous map. They were throwing through Vandals saying like, hey, you know what? Give it to Brave. It's his birthday. Little present for him. Well, the spike's gonna blow up. Take on Radianite.
I wonder if they're
3 players here and a one-way smoke coming through. They're going to try to not just... Oh, they've been spotted. Oh, they have. 4 players here, 3 have been seen, and that's going to be ACEND backing off. There's no way they commit to it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm almost starting to wonder if they have some sort of pact. Where it's like, we go B and then we go A.
We ride together, we go together.
Like, we're going to fight each other there, but there's a lot of control already being taken. Locking down mid, we know that the only man holding on is going to be Pora. Now, we mentioned it before, he is incredibly good with his pistol. He's found an angle, but Zeke is more than aware. We've seen the From the Shadows actually used to TP into the back of the site, but it doesn't matter. The site's gone.
God, Brave just got domed. The first was nice, the second unreasonable. The lockdown comes into effect. Plant can be secured towards the back of the site, and this is where Supermassive Blaze normally would be considering a save. That's been heard. Starzo knows full well that there are players barreling around middle. That was not an easy fight to take, not expecting him to be running past like that. Turco, I think saving is definitely on the cards, although I notice he's the closest player, and now up on top of the... Oh, if that hit, I would have banned him. We'd have to hit the button right away. That was a disgusting attempt. They'll get him in the end. 10 it. Well,
I don't think that was a pause. They've gone straight into the round.
Oh, good.
We'll just see what happens in this one. Already looking a little bit better for Supermassive Blaze. Maybe they didn't need the pause after all.
Yeah, they didn't need the tactics. It looks like they're looking pretty clean in the 4 versus 2. CNED and Zeke trying to pull it back. Operator on CNED hopes to find a victim. Gonna bait them out with the shot. And he's seeing nothing right now. It's a pretty tough one. You know, obviously when you're on the attack for ACEND right now, losing this round isn't going to be the end of the world. They've built up quite a hefty bank. But Supermassive Blaze really needs to win this in a relatively clean fashion, and they have so far. And then they... Okay, that's a trade. That's good. Got that kill so quickly onto Zeke. My God. Another CNED clutch needed, and although he's reliable...
Yeah, he's been given the chance to do it. Zeke will get Mitch very excited. He bought himself an Odin on the attacker side, and actually for now was facing it to mid. I imagine he was just lining up a little bit of utility, trying to force some players out of position with the drone. And again, we're going to see the wall actually this time being put down. I like this a little bit better. As I said, the aggression into this side of the map has been a failure so far for SuperMassive Blaze.
Get the big guns out. Let's go, Zeke. Here's the recon. That's going to reveal the player down in the alley and give Zeke an opportunity. In fact, Turco manages to just sneak his way down and avoid getting tagged on up. That could have been a disaster otherwise. Now, this is definitely going to be a split into the B side, at least for now. The spike is being left all the way towards their spawn. They are allowing Killez to hold on to control there with his turret and then rotate late. But it looks like, yeah, they are going to commit.
I almost wondered if they were going to try and fake things out a little bit. Like
they
put
sort of
down
have with the time.
the same utility. The problem, though, is SuperMassive Blaze haven't fallen for it. They've still got 3 players within this site. Now, the Cosmic Divide will at least give them a chance to section out some of these players, but they need to try and catch some of the remainder before they can take the site.
Boathouse blocked, and now it's time to rush into the site, taking the fights as they go, but down goes the Odin. Zeke dealt with. Izzy pops out with the Blade Storm for some close-range fights. We call that one a Sean Gares. He's whiffed it completely as we go into the 3v3 with very little time. Ascend can't really get that spike planted. How are they going to be able to close in the distance? They need the kill so quickly. Bone Cold, good for it, but time is gone. The round all.
I love that. You were completely.
I was sold 100%. I'm like, there must be someone somewhere, guys, right? No?
No. They were all within that B site at the end, and they all got taken out.
And the time was gone as well. Like, literally, if that player stayed Boathouse, they won off time. That's one of those things, man. Try to play with your teammates, and it's the wrong decision. That's why I always bait. It doesn't work.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Not going to disagree with what you just said. But an early couple of trades. A 4 versus 4 weaponry is in the bin for SuperMassive Blaze. They've got themselves a Marshall, a couple of SMGs, but they have managed to find themselves an opener. Now, their A-site hold has definitely been the better of the two. The problem is they don't really have much space around it. They do, however, have the Killjoy ult.
That they do. That's going to buy them a lot of time. Delaying it down, that mid-peak. Great shot by Izzy, a Marshall in hand. Only one shot if he hits the heady, and that he most certainly does. Starzo has spotted a player dropping down, the Marshall poking and prodding at him. Hopefully the slow will be enough to keep him back. As Starzo closes the distance, Pora thinks he's gone undetected.
He has?
Did he? Okay, there we go. He'll eventually be taken down. That could have been incredibly awkward. Backside, look how low Russ is. With a res coming in, they do not want to lose Russ down below. Oh, that bullet! It went right by his face. They know he's there. They've taken him out, and now the res, luckily, has put them into a 2v3. But a tough one, as again, time could have been the enemy, but the spike will be planted.
Oh, they've got their own lockdown, try and deny them the initial push, but they're just going for it. They're going to try and run through and start to go. And in the round before, round after even, they planted with 10 seconds left.
Turco is feeling it right now, wants to get aggressive. The turret hasn't spotted him up close. That's a nasty angle, and one that almost definitely won't be expected. These players are worried about the guy in main, but now they've spotted him. The dash used up by CNET, burned up in the early stages. They've got the kill, and they're going to continue hunting him down. At least for a moment they were. The man advantage. They called a tactical timeout just before this Ascend, letting SuperMassive Blaze sit in it, and now they'll run the clock down and do much of the same.
Yeah, is he actually on a bulldog? That's not something I ever would think of with that man, at least. Like the Marshall in the previous round, able to do quite a bit. We'll see if he can have the same success. Again, though, it's looking fairly all in from Ascend.
Yeah.
All waiting outside.
It's the right call.
3 players on this site. If they can trade effectively, sure, it's going to go great, but they need to shut this man down early, and that's exactly what they do.
Great kill onto Izzy, now tucked in the corner. It's even expected. They were pre-firing and spraying away. Pora, the last man alive, and they'll bring Zeke right back into the round, bought back by the res. This is an almost unwinnable clutch. In fact, Pora's got the worst weapon of them all. We saw a weapon here or there, some Spectres, but this man only has the Sheriff. Sure. He can do a lot with it, but in a 1v4, the pack mentality of Ascend, there's so much to deal with here, and yeah, the turret is going to be problem number 1. 13-9, 2 to